Usually someone here who's here now at SEO Oktoberfest, and tell them like, okay, if you probably need more links or something like that, like, go work with him or with her or whatever.
Okay. So you have some. Does it work the other way around? Do the guys who are more from the link marketing side of things, do they talk to you when they need a
that happens quite often. There's quite a few link builders out there who don't know that much about on-site SEO.
Probably it's also a big difference, if it's like a shorthead kind of task, which many people can manage, and then if you come to something that has several million products, then it's like a totally different story.
Yeah,
and that's probably where they need help.
The thing is that it's the technical side, but it's also the consulting side to actually get those companies to implement what you want to do.
So do you think that's like a communication thing, or is it because you're like a heavyweight?
It's more politics, and yeah, it's a bit of coming in as a heavyweight that helps, because you usually end up higher in the hierarchy, and it makes it easier to push things through.
So you think it's probably good that you're even a lot more expensive, because then it gives your words more weight?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that pricing has something to do with that. Yeah.
So is the day rate of Joost official or not so much?
It is, yeah. My day rate is €2,500, which is not even that expensive.
No, I would think so too. I would know more expensive ones.
Yeah, there's quite a few in those rooms there.
Yeah, but then in the States, it's a whole different ballgame, right?
Well, €2,500 used to be not that much, but it is now a lot in the States, and that's not because of the euro, that's because of the crappy dollar. So
So now you're going to adjust your rates?
No, it's just...
For people from the US, it's higher now.
It's just okay as it is, and I usually make project prices anyway, or retainers for longer periods, but it's around that mark.
Okay. So how would you think, if you said you work mostly with US clients, so how do you think, what's the difference between SEO in the US and SEO in Germany? Do you think there is a difference? And
yeah, there is a difference.
How is it?
Everything happens earlier in the US. So
do you think like Google algorithmic changes and so on?
Yeah, and
but then it doesn't. Then this is like a very small difference, I would say, right?
No, some stuff happens like 6 months earlier in the US. In Germany, it's a bit faster. In Holland, it's like waiting for years sometimes. Also, their language recognition in English is still so much better than any other language. So I would say that the biggest difference is actually that SEO is somewhat different for these countries.
Okay, because it's just a little bit behind.
Yeah, and it's a bit more competitive in the States for a lot of terms, although Germany can get very competitive for terms as well.
So what do you think about the intertwining of social and SEO? Do you think that is different in the States and in Europe? Because it may be the same thing, that the same thing will happen here just a little bit later. But then again, it may be that they just use it differently. What do you think about that?
A bit of both. It will happen, because they're probably the best signals Google is ever going to get for ranking.
If they're going to get them from Facebook?
No, they won't get them from Facebook, but they'll scrape them off of Facebook like buttons and stuff like that.
I think there's one company present here who's going to show something about that.
But yeah, they'll use those signals, and time will tell what will happen exactly. For now, I'm just focusing on all of them, and just on all of them, just making sure that you have good links and do the social stuff well. The funny thing is that it makes sense to do it all well, because getting normal links without doing the social stuff well is pretty hard.
You think so? Why that?
Because if you want to do it white hat, at least, because you actually have to be talked about, and for people to link to you, they have to talk about you, and the way they talk about you right now is using those social channels. So it all ties into one another, and I do think that they will use them as checks and balances against each other. So if they see very little social traffic about your site and they see a lot of new incoming links, then it's a very good way for them to see, oh wait, there's something weird is happening.
Maybe then again, there's stuff that people are shy to talk about. We just had in the other presentation, we had the example of online dating. People are usually still shy to admit that they do online dating.
So for several markets.
Same with the credits, like payday loans. Who's going to like a payday loan page?
Or my mum, for instance, does relationship therapy. That's not the kind of thing that people are going to be tweeting about.
No. They won't even add your mom on Facebook.
No, absolutely not. So that makes that stuff harder, and at the same time, that's a problem that all her competitors have as well. So it's not a real problem.
Okay. So it will be there will be huge differentiators depending on what.
Yeah, but that's already happening anyway. I mean, shopping search is completely different from. So Google is differentiating an awful lot between all those things anyway, and basically Google is turning into a lot of different vertical searches.
So, tell me one thing that really pisses you off in search. The interview is so calm so far. I want to see something that really touches you.
There's quite a few things that piss me off quite badly.
Okay.
And the thing that pisses me off most is people using 10-year-old techniques, 10-year-old black hat techniques, and still ranking with them because Google doesn't bother to fucking fix it.
Because it's like in countries where Google is just...
When I still encounter sites ranking with no frame spam, for instance, you see that happening in Holland every once in a while, and I'm like, fuck it.
But do you have the feeling that it at least works just for shorter periods?
No, it works quite well and there's a lot of stuff like that just works and it annoys the shit out of me.
Do you think it's probably because it's just Holland is not their focus, and then
it's not entirely
within Holland this spam is just like such a little part. It just doesn't make sense to take care of it because it's in such a niche.
But it's the same thing. I mean, they say they do something about scrapers. Now look at Indeed.com or Indeed.nl or all these job scraping sites. I mean, those are incredibly big scraping sites.
Actually doing some good job on the metadata, I think.
Yeah, but they make their fucking results pages look like Google. It's like
and they have the ads as Google.
Yeah, so I click on a search result and I get to a search result. I thought Google was against that, but apparently that's a different ball game for some of those sites. So that pisses me off.
Okay. So what do you think? How will that solve? Because Google will do any vertical at some point of time, and then the scrapers in that area die as well? Or?
Yeah.
So Google is the problem, but it will solve it as well?
Google filed a patent on job search last week, and so before a job search, 3 to 6 months before Google will release job search, those sites will start dropping in rankings. You can wait for that to happen.
We have a mystic update parallel to that will take care of some other stuff as well. And then accidentally all the job scraper sites will go down. It will just be a side effect of the special update named after some other animal, right?
Or engineer or whatever it is.
Or something in between.
All right. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Thanks a lot for the interview.
OM Report and Andre Alpar would like to thank you for your attention. You can get more episodes on www.OMReport.com.